recognize it's the planning commission's responsibility to work on this. However, I think the inclusion of that particular verbiage into our master plan is extremely beneficial. Does anyone have consternation about that verbiage?
Well, let's submit it to legal counsel and then have the proper wording put in it if necessary.
I'm not a wordsmith.
Yeah.
Frankly, a lot of this was done through artificial intelligence, obviously, with my input.
The neat thing is our legal counsel is really a planner by profession.
She's right here if you want to look at her.
I hear you all. I hope you're saying good things.
I had not, I didn't really feel that we would act on this because we don't usually act on things under board matters for discussion. But what I'm trying to do is set the table to do this piece of business, and I would ask that
Let me go back.
chairman and administrator consider putting this on an agenda for a vote.
Let's go back then and call back in the session.
There you go.
Okay, Madam Clerk?
When you're,
When I'm done eating?
yes.
Another 10 minutes.
Did my face get red? My head did. I can feel it.
Not as red as hers.
Well, the body of our citizens, sorry for the misdirection. Let's call us back into general session then. 10 minutes is expired. Board matters for discussion. How do we want to sum it up, Steve?
Well, it sounds as if, and I hope this is the case, that there's a consensus of support for what I'm trying to accomplish here. I am interested to hear what other opinions may be from our administrator and also from our legal counsel. However, I think it's important that we be expedient about this so we don't allow this to languish because the insertion of this verbiage into our master plan is going to really set the corner foundation stones of what the master plan is intended to accomplish. And, I would hope that we would have good conversation around it, but I would insist that it be put in front of this body for the vote eventually.
Well, I like it a lot because it reaffirms what I believe is the responsibility of the plan in any situation. I really do.
I think we insert particularly with your years of service. But from my short 8 years of service in this capacity, I really believe this is the most critical moment that's ever come in front of our Planning and Zoning Commission. And I think that, our involvement as a Board of Commissioners in this process and our attention to the detail and working with the Planning Commission to get where we do. This master plan is a 10-year plan, but let's look at it this way, gentlemen. What we do today will certainly, and what we do with the master plan, certainly will set the tone for the next 10 years, but that master plan itself will also continue to set the tone after our revision 10 years from now for the next 20 years. And as you could probably testify yourself, sir, these master plans follow us forever. So I think it's important that we get the verbiage correct, that we make the statements that we need to make, and we focus our mission. So anyway, I'm sorry for belaboring the issue.
Catherine, have you heard all that?
Yes, I have heard it. I have a copy of the proposed resolution and also a copy of the acknowledgement of stewardship and local planning responsibility, which is suggested that the Planning Commission members actually attest to, as I understand it, right?
That is correct, Catherine. It's not an oath.
Okay.
It was just attesting to that. And you know, I'm interested in your opinion. I know, I sensed you had some concern with that when we talked 2 weeks ago after.
There's a little bit of concern, but I will, now that I've been directed to, I'll drill down and highlight what my concerns might be, and then you as a policy group can decide whether to, you know, revise it or move forward or however you want to proceed.
That'd be wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna bring this up in the next meeting.
I like the language, it kind of helps me with, you know, with all this, I just keep in the back of my mind about, you know, individual property rights and
Oh, yeah.
and protecting that, and this language kind of helps with that. I certainly want to protect natural resources and so forth, but
There's a limit.
I do, you know, I just don't like people telling me what I can and can't do with my own land either, you know, so, especially the government. So this language helps with that, really helps with that.
Good, thank you, anybody else? Let's see what the council can do. Thanks again, Catherine.
You're welcome.
Okay, can we now,
Read
Well,
this.
do we make a motion to
Discussion
go
is
into
ended.
closed session?
yeah, we need to go into closed session.
Thank you.
Thank you, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being part of our lives.